Alright, video number 6. This is the sign for number 6 in sign language. Or we can go with the number 6. Okay, so they were talking to us about this jar system where you have 5 jars that you distribute your earnings into once they come in. So like the necessity jar, which is the jar that takes care of your rent or your mortgage, your utility bills, your insurance, your groceries, like the necessities of life. And then you have the business jar, which is you investing back into your business. And then the education jar, which is basically investing back into yourself, you know, whether it's through seminars, books, just whatever. And then you have the play jar, because, you know, you got to have some fun with all this money. And then the give jar. So they actually set the days up in accordance with these jars. So I want to say the first jar was, you know, like the education jar. I mean, they did a day where they taught us the numbers behind our business. But and then so they ended up talking about how, okay, the leaders in our business, Cameron, George, and Glenn Arcaro, you know, basically came together, and Cam brought the brains behind it all, and Glenn brought the resources, because Cameron's actually been in marketing for quite some time, and actually he's been paid thousands of dollars by people to help him build their business. And so now what Cam is doing is, with his team, us, Project AWOL, he's basically just completely giving all he knows to us absolutely free. It's amazing. And you know, you tend to lose sight of that because you come into it and you just get all this free stuff and you're just like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. But I really got a good look while I was in Thailand, like, wow, it is crazy how much he gives of himself and how transparent they are. I mean, laptops were left and notebooks were left, and it didn't, you know, they didn't try to hide anything. But anyway, and then Glenn used to work in Hollywood, so it was his resources of bringing the crew in that did all the taping of the reality show, because I don't know if I mentioned, but that's what I was there for, was doing an entrepreneurial reality show. But anyway, so Education Day is to teach us that, you know, you partner with someone and you use each other's strengths to make it happen. And so the rules starting off were that we were going to be given a list of 5 things, and whoever came back with the most money won, because they were going to give us a certain amount of money. Well, I was sitting next to Nick Logan when they you know, ran it down, and Nick was like, Brandy, if we're partners, we're going to win. Well, instantly I set my first intention. I am going to be Nick's partner. And I was. And so Nick had this great strategy of, because, you know, we had a crew of Thai people that were taking care of us, so he went to one of the Thai ladies and was asking her to go with us so she could actually, you know, speak the language and try to wheel and deal with these people so we could come back with the most money. But then everybody caught on to his idea, and everybody wanted to bring one of the Thai people, and then they just shut that down, like, you know what, that's, you know, we're not going to allow that. You can't take them. Well, anyway, before we left, I ended up running upstairs and writing down on a piece of paper, and I still have that piece of paper, but I wish I had it in front of me. I'll post a picture of it. But I wrote down, I am, because I got to tell you what the reward was. Whoever came back with the most money, whatever team came back with the most money, each of us got 2 new members in our business. So that's like a really high reward. So I run upstairs and I'm like, I write down, I am gaining 2 new clients into my business because I won this contest that Glenn and Cam have put on. So I set my intention. I even prayed, and I prayed with expectancy that I was going to win this, that me and Nick were going to win this. So on our way downtown to where we were going to do the game, me and Nick are just in the back of this van, just masterminding like all these things we're going to do. I mean, we had plan A, B, and C. But we came up with a really good idea where we were going to shop for ourselves personally, and we were going to pay a little more for our personal items and ask them to throw the items that were on our list in there for free, so that way we came back with all the money. And then to top that idea, we were going to then sell the personal items that we had, you know, for cheaper than what somebody would get it in the store, and then that way we would come back with more money than we started with. And it was so clever because Glenn and Cam set it up to where, you know, they've come together and put their resources together where, you know, you got the brains behind it, and then the call floor. That actually is kind of confusing, so I'm not even going to get into that part. But the point was just the fact that we would be bringing back more money than we started with, because like the whole point of this business is you invest some money in because you're going to get more money than you invested in. I hope this is making sense. But anyway, so when we get down there, me and Nick find out that we're going to be first. But we're like, it's cool because we got a plan. Well, then they go and switch the rules up on us. So now, instead of them giving us a list of items and coming back with the most money, now they're going to give us 500 baht, which is $500 in Thailand money. And whoever comes back with the most shirts wins. I'm like frantic at this point because I'm just like, oh my gosh, we had a plan and now we don't have one. We're first. We don't have time to come up with anything else. And we had 10 minutes to get this done. So it's like we're off and running. And Nick's trying to explain to me that we can still pretty much use the idea, but I wasn't getting it because I was just like stressed at this point. So we're running all around. The first store we go to, I'm asking the guy he's telling us that one shirt is $250, but I can't get it out of my head that $250 in Thailand money, not $250 in American money. I'm thinking $250 in American money. So I'm like, $250, oh man, we can get every shirt on the rack. And so I'm like, Nick, start counting the shirts. And he's looking at me like, he wants $250 for one and we only have 500 baht. So the guy was asking, how many shirts do you want? And I was like, we want the whole rack for 500 baht. Well, the dude had a little calculator he was holding on to. He just threw that down. I was like, basically like, I can't help you. And so then we noticed we're looking at polo shirts, the most expensive shirts we could be looking at. So we leave that store and we're running around and the camera crew's telling us how we don't have much, you know, we need to hurry up. We don't have time. And so we run into another store. And we're trying to wheel and deal, and Nick is again trying to explain to me we can buy a hat for like way more than we would normally get it and just have them throw the shirts in. But I don't know, I just wasn't getting it because I'm like, ah! And so we finally just end with 5 shirts. We're like, can we have these 5 shirts for 500 baht? They go ahead and do it. Now I have no clue if that's a good deal or not. So I'm feeling a little down and out when I leave, and I almost asked for a 6th shirt just to throw in one more shirt, but I don't know why I didn't do it, but I didn't. So anyway, you know, the camera crew is actually telling us that we did good. You know, like 5 shirts for 500 baht, that was good. So I'm feeling a little better, and then Nick's like, you know, we ought to go back and act like we don't have any shirts. So in order to stuff these shirts down in my purse, we got to take them off the hangers. So we take the shirts off the hangers. I hand 5 hangers to a lady on the street, and we go back to where we're meeting the others, and you know, we're looking kind of down. Everybody's like, you know, how many did you get? And we're just like, you know, we ran out of time. And basically we were just trying to set it up to where they didn't think they had much competition. Well, then the next group after us comes back with 6 shirts. So now, you know, we're getting into all the what we should have, could have, would have done. And I'm feeling, I mean, I'm actually irritated at this point because I'm just like, why wasn't I understanding how we could still use the plan and we should have did this and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I just cut Nick off and I'm like, hold up. I was like, we're talking as if we didn't win, but we won. Now, mind you, the group came back and has 6 shirts, but I'm saying we won. So then the next group comes back, they got 3 shirts, and the last group that comes back got 7 shirts. But I'm just like, it don't matter, we won. So when it came time to count the shirts, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there was 9 shirts in the bag, and instantly I just started saying, praise you, God, praise you, God. Please forgive me for ever doubting you. Oh, God, you always show me how you've got my back. I mean, I was so overwhelmed. 9 shirts in the bag. We took the shirts off the hangers. We handed 5 hangers over to a woman on the street. Like, I don't know. There was 5 shirts, but now there was 9. And all I could think about was the story about the woman in the Bible that there's a debt that she owes, and she doesn't have enough oil to pay it. So I forget who she's talking to, but he tells her, go home and start pouring oil until all your vats are full. And sure enough, she goes home and the oil just keeps coming out until all her vats are full and she's able to pay her debt. So I was just thinking, like, God multiplied. This is crazy. This is super cool. And then later, another guy that was there was saying how, like, it's just like when Jesus multiplied the fish and the bread. I mean, yeah, however you want to look at it, God multiplied. We had 9 shirts. And so the lesson learned was, there's no sense in figuring out how it's going to happen, like the how-to. You know, because we were just in there plotting, and we had like plan A, B, and C, and it was like none of those plans went out the window. And yet, because we set our intention, we acted, spoke, and thought as if we had won even before we won. You know, and I prayed with expectancy, you know, whatever you want to call it. Setting your intention, praying with expectancy, it all boils down to the same thing. That you got to see it before you see it. You know, you got to believe it before you see it. However you want to set that up. Again, the lesson learned was, it's not how you get there, it's just knowing you are going to get there. And it was the coolest thing that could have happened. And so we won 2 new clients each into our businesses, and that is